Hello, good afternoon. How are you doing? Welcome. Welcome to the podcast, The Coach is Next Door. A podcast that, we designed to reach different places in our mind, but also to elevate and to inspire, our own souls and our own spirit. So today I'm really fascinated. I want to stay with art. I want to say to you that, and this is also, of course, about the topic that we are going to reach out in a moment. But it's incredible how sometimes we are not totally aware on the impact of a new perspective or a new idea is put outside, and how much can we really impact not only the life of someone, but sometimes even, the business, and of course that is also life, but not only the life aspect, the personal life, for instance, but also, to really shift some mindsets, and sometimes even takes time. And but the main thing is, maybe we need to just continue. Maybe we just need to continue, repeating and showing different ways and in different forms. And then one day is like, okay. So today the topic is exactly about that. Like, how? And I get this question a lot. To be realistic, it's like, but do you think that this person needs a coach, or do I need a coach? And how do we know? How do we know that if we need a coach, and even sometimes more incredible, the type of coaching that we need, or coach more, because coaching is coaching. But what type of coach will be beneficial? So I want to start with this idea that sometimes is more simple than looks like. Because when we are feeling in any point, in any moment, that whatever is happening right here, right now, is not producing, not giving, not promoting the results that we are looking for, maybe that is the time that we need to ask ourselves, whoa, what can I do? So I think the first question is always that. The first question is, what can I do? What is under my possibility of, acting, deciding, power? What is under my influence? That is the first question. And realizing what is under my influence and what is under my impact, maybe is the first thing that we need to realize, is to realize that, can I alone, of course, we are talking about the possibility of doing this all alone, can I alone do something about this? And I will say, go first for whatever you think you can do. So taking that ownership and saying, okay, what can I do? And only that is already an act. Let me put it this way: an act of coaching, okay, is realizing what is going on and is taking a decision upon it and doing it, okay? So you are already in what sometimes people call self-coaching, you, right? So you are doing self-coaching because you are bringing the questions. First, you are realizing that whatever is happening is not what you want. Second, you are identifying what are the resources that you will need and what is under your influence. So where is your biggest impact? And then you are taking actions upon that, right? So you are already doing self-coaching, and that's great. Most, I will say, most part of the times we can be doing that. We can be doing self-coaching. Of course, if you know a little bit more about coaching, your self-coaching will also improve. But most part of us can get to this point. Okay, what is going on? Can I do something about it? Let's do it. But, and yeah, we have a but, right? Is that it's not always like this. Sometimes we, even sometimes is incredible, right? Because we can realize what is going on. We can even say to ourselves, okay, this is not working out, so it's not what I want, but I don't know exactly what to do next. Sometimes even starts before. Sorry, I have a thing, another video going here. Um, Sometimes it's even before, like, I don't know even what is going on. I just know that I don't feel good. So that you can already imagine that will be very difficult for you to do self-coaching, because you basically are not able to achieve the moment of awareness. Okay. But the thing is also, sometimes we know that we don't like what is going on. We know what needs to be done, but we don't get to that first step. And then maybe you can go to the to see or review the podcast last week, right? What is that all about? Why sometimes we really struggle on that first step. But imagine the situation, and what I want to bring here today is the perspective of the NLP, neuro linguistic programming, and philosophy and neuroscience. So I want to give you a little bit more awareness what we are, let's say, really talking about, because we have different perspectives, of course. But the idea is to combine all this and make really a powerful reply to the question, how do I know if I need a coach? So this is the main question that we have today in the back of our minds. And the first thing that I would like to tell you is that in NLP we have a concept, and is the concept of incongruency. So is when someone is not congruent. So they are in a space of incongruency. And what this means, basically, I think the most easy way to explain this is that congruency is when we are aligned. So everything feels like belongs to that person, to that place, right? So it's no things that we think, oh, but why this is here, why this is happening. A simple way of seeing this is, for instance, when someone is saying something with their words, but is, for instance, doing something with their nonverbal. So that is, for instance, if I say, "Oh, this is really nice. I really loved it," you know. So this is me being incongruent, okay? Because my words are not matching my nonverbal. So you get two different informations. You get an information from my words, and you get an information from my face and from my movement, right? So this is what NLP defines as incongruency. And one of the points is that when we feel that we are being incongruent, is maybe one of the things that we need to pay attention to. A simple example as well is that, I want, a lot of success in my career, but I really feel, like a strong fear of failure. So, and I realize that I'm avoiding a little bit opportunities. So this is also a possibility of you detect the incongruency, right? So I want to say success, but at the same time, I'm so fear fearful of failing that I'm not taking any risk. So this every time that we feel that we are being incongruent is maybe one of the points, if we pick up the NLP perspective, that we will get very different results if we have a coach. And this is for a very simple reason, is that if we are the ones being incongruent, means that we have most probably things that are, let's say, in a kind of conflict. NLP also defines that is no conflict at all. That's why the body gives different reactions. So it's not a type. It's not. Yeah, I'm not finding the best word, but it's not. It's not a real conflict, but it's more like we have different perspective, different points. Okay, because for instance, I can think that success by education, by culture is a certain type of thing. But for myself, internally, I feel success when I have other things. So this is not a conflict, but there are different perspectives. So, and this is something that is very difficult to do self-coaching. Why? Because you are one. And if you are creating this division, most probably you have beliefs that are contradicting themselves. And you have also different points that you are seeing this situation. So, and because you are inside of yourself and inside of your own story, it's very difficult sometimes to get out of there and get an outsider perspective. So that's one of the things that NLP will put as a red flag, let me put it this way, for you to really say, okay, maybe I need a coach here because I'm being incongruent. I'm not aligned, and I want something, or I say that I want something, but internally I don't even believe it, or I have other emotions coming in that are not supporting what I believe that I want. Yeah. So the thing is that we could think about the mind as a GPS. Yeah. And if our destination, like a GPS, is, you need to put the next address that you want to go, right? For, let's say, you get the more practical solution to get there. And the mind is a little bit like that. If the mind doesn't have, the output very clear, gets a little bit confused, and then starts, going or everywhere or not going at all. So gets a little bit on this stuck moment, like, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? So that's sometimes why being incongruent blocks, your neurological system and your mind to really go for it, to really say, okay, I know what this is, I know what I want to go, and these are the possible steps. So this is the first thing that I would like to show you, is that the vision of NLP is very much focused on when people are disaligned, incongruent. This makes sense for you? Can you detect in yourself some of these moments? I can detect some of them. For instance, even today was having a chat with my PT, and he was asking me, "Hey, did you do the plank yesterday?" And I said no, but I thought about it. So that is me being incongruent. Like, I think about it. I even know, let's say, the good that will bring, the good feeling, or why I'm doing it. I know that, but I still don't do it. And he was saying to me, well, we went to an extra step. Now you are thinking about it. So the next step is you think and you do. And this is why sometimes, of course, we were a little bit joking about this, but this is a great example how in the daily life we can be incongruent. Okay, we can be incongruent. For instance, if I say, oh, you know what, I want to be healthy, but I go and I eat, I don't know, some burger, fast food. So in these little things you can say, oh, it's not so important, I don't need a coach for that. No, of course not, of course not. But it's nice for us to start recognizing the little moments that we are incongruent. Okay, because more incongruent we are, our life tends to be a little bit more difficult, let me put it this way. So it's nice that because you know, when you start detecting the small incongruencies that you have during your day or your month, then you maybe start also noticing the big ones. Okay, so it's a kind of a growing awareness point. If you want, I think you understand what I mean, right? So if you have any questions, let me put it again. If you have any questions, please use the chat. I'm here, I'm seeing the chat, and I can even reply to you live. Wow, cool that is. So if you are seeing this episode, take that advantage, take the advantage of being here with me and asking me your questions, because you have a live reply to it. So basically you have your coach, ta-da, available for you. So that's how this life goes. So more questions you bring, the more also this episode gains, because that is real questions. So now I'm going to bring you another perspective, that is the perspective of the philosophy. Let me put it like this: what will make a philosopher look for a coach? And this happens when um, when someone is, for instance, asking big questions like, "What is this life all about?" Or is this the life that I want to be living? Is more to this that I'm not still reaching or seeing it, or even being able to to see when people start creating this, let me put it, big questions. It's very difficult as well to get out of those questions um, by yourself, because again you are, I don't want to be mean, but I'm on this box as well, is that as one brain, one person, we are limited. So we have a limited possibility of perspectives. We have a limited possibility of thinking in another way, because our brain tends to be a little bit rigid. So when we have these big questions, so I hear this a lot, right? What is my purpose? What is really there for me? It's interesting to have a coach on those moments, because this is the proof that you need a different perspective, that you need to see, more, you need to hear more, you need to amplify your perspectives. And doing that for you by yourself, it's possible in a certain way, but it's not the ideal situation, because again, you are like me, limited. Yeah? That's why sometimes we are facing some doubts. What do? We go and we call a friend, or we call our mom or papa, and we want to. Sometimes it's like, just tell me what you think about this. I don't want you to do anything for me, but just tell me, if you were me, what you will be doing. That's what we are looking for, right? Is perspective. Is that people with their experience, with their lives, also help us to see our own thing in a different way. So when people are in, even sometimes the question of, should I stay in this job? Should I go? This is not, I get this a lot, like you can imagine. So this is not a question for your manager. That this is not a question for your leader. You know, this is a question for your coach, because they have a second agenda. A coach, no. A good one, no. So that type of questions, when it's, questions that are about shifting our life, are things that you should is a big word, but will be beneficial, that you get a coach and a different perspective, and also the challenge. Hi, welcome from France. So it's also the challenge, right? Because um, what is the difference, for instance, if you go to your friends and you get a situation and ask them, what you will be doing? You will get their opinion, okay, and their perspective. When you get a coach, he will challenge your perspective. The coach will be challenging you in a way that you gain new perspectives. That is not someone saying, oh, this is my perspective. So that is one of the advantage of having a coach, is that you will amplify your perspectives. You will not get an advice. Okay. So that's the good part of it. So the idea of when the idea that when you are questioning the meaning, let me put it this way, the meaning of your life, the meaning of your job, the meaning of your marriage, the meaning, the meaning, and what is this all about? um, I believe that will be highly beneficial to have a coach, because you don't want to get advice in when this is happening. You don't want advices because they will not be yours. And you don't want also solutions. You don't want someone to come and say, oh no, life is like this and means this. No, you don't want that, because will not serve you most part of the times, right? What you want is to create your own new meaning, your own new perspective. So that's why a coach will be uh, very beneficial. So this is so I gave you the, let's say, what will make an NLP trainer to look for a coach, what will make a philosopher to look for a coach, and now I'm going to say to you, what will make a neuroscientist look for a coach. So one of the things is that um, the neuroscience or the neuroscientist will look for a coach because the coach has the possibility of changing and impacting your brain system. So let me put it this way. The coaching, because is amplifying this neuroplasticity, and is with that is giving the possibility of creating new habits, breaking or amplifying or overcoming old patterns, with guidance. This means that the coaching process can literally shape what is happening in your brain. Okay, so a neuroscientist, sorry, will probably look for a coach when they feel, okay, I need to create in my own brain, I need to create new ways. And that is by the neuroplasticity. I need to get to new places in my brain and using my brain. Okay, so this is uh, pretty big, because if you think about your life, and if you think about your life right now, do you have at this moment a a situation or a place in your life that you feel that will be beneficial to get new perspectives, that you feel basically the famous word stuck, that you feel like, I don't know how to get out of here. Or do you have at this moment in your life this question, like, what is the meaning of all this? What is, for instance, 2 days ago, I received someone saying she has her own company, and she was saying, I don't even know why I'm doing this. So I don't even know what this means for me anymore. And I go like, that's big, right? That's big. Even more when you have your own business and you are the one that needs to drive, the why, and you need to drive the motivation, and you need to drive basically everything. So if you don't know exactly why you are doing that anymore, whoa, that requires some attention, okay? But sometimes also in the small things. And I hear a lot of people, for instance, feeling also very tired. I hear the word exhausted a lot these days, and I go like, okay, that is under the perspective of the neuroscience or the neuroscientist, that you need probably to create new ways of doing your own life, because whatever you are doing right now is making you exhausted, right? So let me put it this way: if someone asks me, okay, how do I know that I need a coach? I will like, okay, first, do you feel that the life that you are living right now is not your life? Do you have any moment that you feel like you are not being aligned with yourself? Not even talking about the outside world. Align with yourself. Are you doing what you feel right? Are you doing what you want to be doing? Are you the person that you want to be? That will be one of the questions. The second question will be, what is the meaning of all this for you? Are you aware of this meaning? And this meaning is the meaning that serves you. And the third question is, do you have anything in your life that is not serving you anymore? Like an habit, a pattern that is not serving you anymore? If you reply to yes to all these questions, maybe a session will be great. If you have one that you say, oh yeah, I sometimes questioning myself about what all this means, what my job means, what my life means, that is even bigger. Or I sometimes question myself what I'm doing here in this country or in this city. That's also a great moment to stop and go and go. Because why we need to think that a coach is only when things are really bad? No, sometimes we can use coaching to prevent that they get really bad. Okay, I sometimes say, oh my god, if this person was coming to me, I don't know, maybe 1 month before or 2 months before, we will not having this conversation like this right now. Okay, because things went so far that now is a little bit more difficult, to deal. And this happens, for instance, a lot when I'm working with burnout. Like, people take things too far. They don't like it, they don't enjoy it, they start not sleeping or getting anxious or not wanting to go to work or whatever. So they have a lot of symptoms along the way. But guess what? They are always expecting that, oh, I can deal with this. This will get better. I said, why? Like, I know that is a lot of the culture, right? A lot of people only go to the doctor when they are really in a bad shape. And then they don't go to the house doctor. They already need to go to the hospital. I always go, why you don't go to the house doctor? more times during the year that could maybe avoid, if it's not an accident, that you go to the emergency room. But and with coaching is the same. Why are we waiting that things get really bad to say, oh, now I need help, now I need someone to talk to? Maybe it's not necessary. Maybe coaching could be seen as a process of progress. Like we are always, changing. So it's okay to get support for that change. I don't know if you have any questions, but making a little bit of a summary. So, questions that will help you to understand if you need a coach is thinking about, okay, if is I'm being incongruent, I'm being disaligned in some part of my life. If yes, just go. Do I question myself about the big meaning of all this? Do I question myself if I should or I shouldn't? Do I question myself about my values? Do I question myself about what is the meaning of all this? You should. When I question myself about, oh, I'm doing always repeating this. I'm always doing this. I'm always doing this same thing, and seems like I'm aware that is not good, but I'm always repeating that. I'm always doing the same. That's another moment to just go, So it's thinking about these three levels, and sometimes they are all there, unfortunately, and sometimes it's only one. Like, no, I know the meaning. I'm congruent. That's why I want to become more congruent, and I want to change my habits. So great, Sometimes it's like, no, I have okay, what is called good habits, but I think oh, okay. I'm going to interrupt what I'm saying because someone is saying I'm not good at getting help. I try to coach myself. That is already a red flag to ask for a coach. If you are not willing, and I'm not saying that you are willing in the sense you know that maybe it will be better, right? If I get I don't need, I'm not good, so I get like, that sometimes that's the way, right? So if you are not able to do it, even when you know that that will be the best choice, that is already motive enough to go, okay? Because if I can give you if you allow me my own example, I consider myself, and I'm not being modest here, I consider myself a pretty good coach. I have the experience, I have the attitude, I have the mindset. I consider really myself a really good coach. And also, yeah, my clients have the results, okay? But I have a coach. Because it's not that I cannot coach myself, but I know that in some things I will, let's say, I will do some changes, but I will not probably do the changes that is required. Why? Because, I don't want to hurt myself. I always give this example. It's the same thing. You cannot tickle yourself. Okay? And you know how to do it. And with other people works wonders. With my kids works wonders. Always works. Guess what? With me not. Because it's me. Because I'm inside of myself. So every time that I'm going to coach myself, I'm still going to coach with my own brain, with my own habits, with my own beliefs, with my, you know what I mean? So look for that good coach. That's a different question, right? Look for that good coach. Look, and that's what I was going to bring next. Is like, okay, now that imagine like you, um, um, imagine that you get to the point where, okay, you know what? I need a coach, or I want. It's better that I need. I want a coach, and then the question is, but what type of coaching? What type of coach? Also, because these days, let me tell you, people got a little bit creative. So it's coach for everything, you know. And I go like, coaching is coaching. If someone is good, is good. But I understand in marketing they say, look for a niche. So that's what they are doing. But then is realizing, okay, what type of coach do I want? First, maybe would be a good way to say, where is my problem? Is more on the top, saying that the first one that I spoke about is more about the incongruency, is more about me not feeling aligned. Okay, that is a type, let's say, of not even a type of coaching, it's a type of more a type of coach. Yeah, is looking for that alignment. Maybe, for instance, someone more related with embodiment, someone related with more like this congruency coaching. I'm just giving some examples, okay? Don't stick on my things. Then, if your questions are much more on the field of the meaning, the purpose. Maybe you need a coach that, for instance, has more philosophy in the background. He has more this um, path of connection with the world and connection with the meaning. So it's more about what the person and also the energy of this coach brings to you. Okay. If you have, for instance, somewhat more, your questions are more on the field of, oh, my habits, my patterns. Maybe, for instance, the type of coach is a more practical coach, so probably a faster person, but also someone with, for instance, new code NLP, that is a lot about that as well, and it's a fast change. And some people have all this integrated. Oh my God, that was really forced, right? Some people had all this integrated. So some people can reach all these points, and they do it well. So, but I think when you are looking for a coach, also one of the things that I sometimes, for instance, I do an intake session, and it's incredible because sometimes people don't ask, like, what do you believe in about coaching? No one asks me that, and I think that is the most important question. What are my beliefs? Because guess what? I'm also operating under some beliefs, right? And my operational beliefs about people, about coaching. Yeah. So, for instance, I have a deep belief on progress. For me, coaching is always, in every second that we are having a session, is progress coming. You know, we don't talk about the same thing on the same way for an hour. So I'm very focused on progress. I'm also a deep believer that coaching is to amplify, not to take away. So if I'm always working with the idea that the best is to give more perspectives, more strategies to the person than taking away things from the person. Um, so that's, for instance, some of my beliefs. So much more than maybe you asking, how do you work and what do you do, is much more about asking the coach, what are your beliefs about coaching, about people, and what are your beliefs about your process. So that's one of the ways to look for the good coach for you. Yeah. But you can start by checking, where is my problem, where is the level of my problem. okay? And start there. And then you say, okay, now let's see what type of, attitude, what type of belief this person has as a coach, and let's see if this matches with what I also am looking for, right? So, and I think that's why, yeah, go for an intake, go for a first meeting without any commitment, and see how that looks like, because that will be probably already a mirror from what will come after. Yeah. In my students, I give always a story that is a true story, and was about, I was in a fair one time, and was a lady there, and she was a coach. I could see by the banner, the stand that she had, and I was waiting for my tea, and then the lady had this rollers, and she was not tall. She was even shorter than me, so maybe 150, 155. She was not tall, and you know that these rollers normally they are big. So she was picking up the roller, and she was like opening the roller, and of course she didn't had high enough to put it up. So she did it once, she did it on the floor twice, she put it up again, and we were like 10 people waiting, and she was in front of us. And after three attempts to put that roller up, she just put the roller in the bag and gave up. And my mind, I know, really mean, but my mind was like, what type of coach are you? If you are satisfied with three attempts with yourself, you never even look around. We were like, we are in Holland, okay? So, and my mind could not stop of getting this. What type of coaching do you do? What type of thing do you do? If you are giving up on something that you brought, that probably you pay for it, and maybe even you did it for this fair, and you gave up on the third attempt. So that's how critical you also need to be. You know what this means. And if you do that to yourself, and if you say that, what are you going to do with me? So pay attention to that. I hope I gave you some hints, and I hope this helps you. I don't know how to say your name, Mistrier. Mistrier. I hope I'm saying it well. I'm so sorry. I'm not good at this. As you know, I'm dyslexic, so some mix of letters makes me highly confused. Please correct me or send me a message. I'm so sorry if I said it wrong. So I hope I gave you some ideas what ways you could go for, and it's just an idea. Okay, so thank you so much for being with me. Remember, I'm live every Friday, and I want to bring to you a new approach and also more awareness on this field of coaching. And it's Anita. Thank you. Thank you. So thank you, Anita, for your questions. I always love your questions. So that's I'm here, and you can ask your questions. And like you can see, I reply live as well. And I, of course, if the questions also need a private approach, you can also get it. But the main thing is that I want to, and one of the motives that I started doing this on Fridays, is that you take this topic to the next week. So next week, write down, divide these three parts, to these three perspectives. Let me put it this way: three perspectives is better, and write down. Do I see myself being incongruent doing this day, this week? Do I see myself asking for some meanings and, a little bit looking for that? Or do I feel like some habits I really need to change and some patterns I really need to change? So bring this to the next week, okay? Do your self-coaching, your self-awareness, but do it with a little bit more information. Yeah? So thank you so much again, and take care of yourself. See you next week.